it isn't an African dung beetle. This is my first time seeing one here. It's such a remote location too. Usually these walk around in tribes. I wonder what it's doing here. Stay calm, little African dung beetle. I'm going to be calling you a name and then I'm going to be drawing you. So please stay still for Jane Porter. Now, I think what I'm going to be calling you is John. Maybe I feel like your name should be John, or maybe you look kind of like a Paul as well, or George perhaps. I mean, those are quite common names. Maybe even Richard, but stay right there. Stay right there. I'm going to be drawing you. Let me simply find a clean piece of paper so I can simply draw you as well as I possibly can. Alright. Now, I see you have that sort of a nose. It's quite spliced at the end, and let me see. You have quite a large exoskeleton. You also have quite an ovular sort of shape. It's not something round or thinly or rod shaped rather. 6 legs as always. And then okay, alright, give me one moment. I'm going to be simply etching you out now. Simply making the little frame that I need at the moment. Oh, please don't move, please don't move. Okay, stay still. Stay John, or Paul, or George, or Richard. Thank you. Okay. Let me just see your tail for a little. Oh, I see. It seems rather pointed at the end, both ends, and they just kind of meet. Okay. All right. And they seem to be quite. I do believe your exoskeleton is quite dark all around, rather, but the lower parts of your exoskeleton seem to have a purplish shade across it. I do believe that it may be just a reflection of the. You move just a little. Okay, it's just a reflection of the sun, and nothing to worry about. You're completely, black. Okay. I'm simply going to be adding the reflection on, just because that is how I'm observing you at the moment, Mr. John or Paul or George or Richard. All right. Okay. Now, please turn the other way. You seem to have quite a ribbed underneath. You seem to have quite a ribbed underbelly. I can't quite tell whether you're male or female, unfortunately, but that's not a problem, Oh, go. You're coming along quite well, Mr. John, Paul, George, or Richard. Well, technically, if I'm going to be completely fair, considering how I don't know whether you're a male or female, I don't want to be calling you John, Paul, George, or Richard, considering how those are all boy names. But if I'm going to be trying out a name that's more feminine for you, I would assume that Janine, Paulina, and Georgina, and what should be for Richard? Regina would be perfectly suited for you, just in case you are in fact a female. Now, back to the sketching. My trip log needs to be updated with new and interesting mammalia and insect life. Okay, okay, there we go. And now let me just see your pincers for a second. Alright, it seems, oh, it was the other one. It's in fact, okay. It seems to have, it seems to have quite, please stop moving, thank you. Alright, it seems to have a strong base right there, and then it just inverts, or rather diverts, because it just goes like this. But then again, I'm telling you how you look, and oh my goodness, bugs don't know how they look because they've never been in front of a mirror. That's so strange to think about sometimes. It's quite astonishing now that I just think of it. But regardless, I'm going to be sketching you all nonetheless, and you're going to be looking at yourself and you're going to be seeing how fabulous you look. And you're so lonesome too in the middle of this location. I mean, your species belongs somewhere else, and yet you're here, and it's and you're thriving. It's not like you're starving or anything. You're completely fine. I wonder how you managed to find your way here in the first place. Okay. Right. Your exoskeleton seems to be quite smooth. However, your pincers, I assume, are a bit hairy. And they're filled with little bumps. And your legs are also quite hairy. Alright. Oh, I do believe I did quite a good job. Now, let me simply write down some notes that I can observe from you. I want to make sure I don't miss a single detail about this find. What should I call you, finally? I need to have a name for this trip log. I want to make sure I categorize and organize everything I do, considering how I can be a bit forgetful at times. It is quite annoying. But let bygones be bygones of the past. Now, what should I name you? I.W. Sir Beetle. Aren't I intelligent? Sir Beetle. Beetle? Now, Sir Beetle. Let me notice what else you have. Alright, I noticed that the hairs you have are quite, well, they are similar. They seem similar to a mop, in all honesty. It seems like more of like a mop top than anything else. But I mean, just simply write that down. Hairs upon the pincers seem more like a mop top than anything else. Let me see now. Let me see. Yeah, I'm simply going to be flipping you over. I do apologize. Oh God, your legs are disgusting. I do apologize, Sir Beetle. But I have to make sure I can get a better visual. All right. It seems that you have 9 rings on your belly. Let me simply note that down. 9 rings on belly. Actually, let me double count that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yes, 9 rings on your belly. So, what else? Let me see the differences. It's of pinkish hue. Pinkish hue. Yeah. All in all, you seem like a pretty typical African dung beetle, in all honesty, but you are in a remote location. I'm trying to differentiate you from the rest that I've seen. I want to see how you've adapted to this location. It would be quite interesting to see, considering how it would kind of play into Darwin's work. See, it would be as if I were discovering some sort of like adaptation found within evolution, and that in itself is quite fascinating. And if you don't think so, then you can leave me alone. But anyways, you seem like a pretty typical dung beetle. I'm going to simply write that down. Simply typical dung, or rather African dung beetle. The only difference between yourself and everyone else is that I've named you Sir Beetle. However, I do believe I'm going to mend in that name. I'm going to re-Christian you as it is, as something else before, because that name is not convincing me very much. Perhaps... You know what? I'm going to Christian you all 4 of my original names, and if you end up being female, I'll re-Christian you another name. The same name, but feminized, but more feminine. Actually, you are a girl, and your name shall be Janine Pauline Georgina Regina. That is your name. I hope you can live with it, because frankly I'm going to be living with it in my trip notes. Yeah, to write down my trip log. So easy to confuse the 2 words, isn't it? But anyways, I'm going to be noting it down in my trip log. I forgot your name. Janine Pauline Georgina Regina. What a beautiful name, quite lovely. And considering how there is 4 names within one, it's not like you're going to be very easy to forget. It's going to be very, 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 very easy to remember you, even if it's just by the very fact that you have 4 names within your name. Now Janine Pauline Georgina Regina. Now, I'm simply going to continue. Let me just simply flip you back onto your... Please don't move. Please don't move. I'm still examining you. It's pretty average, though. Well, alright. I'll simply write down that you're just an African dung beetle and let my hopes just shatter right there when I thought I was being some sort of Darwinian... Please stop moving. Darwinian sort of assistant. Oh, he's going to be so disappointed in me. Long live Darwin. Anyways, I'll simply note down average dung beetle with an average life. Same exoskeleton, same pincers, same underbelly, same legs, same everything. Nothing to note, nothing different other than the location. Now, what are some possible ways that you got here? Perhaps you caught a ride. Perhaps you caught a ride from one of our crew and simply managed to land yourself here. Possibilities for dung beetle. actually, rather, let me simply use your name, simply to be more polite, and also because this trip log is named after you. So, possibilities as to how Janine, Pauline, Georgina, Regina got to location 503 could be that she caught a ride upon one of our crew members and managed the trip all the way here. Or perhaps, oh, that's a very good theory. Or perhaps I must shorten your name. I have to choose. I can't keep. No, you're christened Janine, Pauline, Georgina, Regina. I'm going to keep calling you Janine, Pauline, Georgina, Regina. So, other possibilities as to how Janine, Pauline, Georgina, Regina managed to find herself in location 503 is she managed to catch a ride upon one of her predators, and they might have thought that you had been eaten by them, which would be quite peculiar. That would be quite a daft predator. Their species are going to be falling, off the face of the earth, according to Darwin. But perhaps it ate your family, and you caught a ride on it, trying to avenge their deaths, and you simply failed. Now, Janine, Pauline, Georgina, Regina might have caught a ride upon a predator, which slaughtered and feasted upon upon the family of Janine, Pauline, Georgina, Regina, and she, in her wrathful woe, decided to avenge their deaths, but failed, and fell, and now dwells within location 503. Excellent. I think we might have solved the case. You might as well just call me Sherlock Holmes. Now that I've studied you, and now that I have all of my trip notes, you can feel free to go. So simply scamper on by now, Mr. African Dung Beetle, rather Miss Georgina, or rather Miss Janine, Pauline, Georgina, Regina. I hope you love your name, and I hope you start your family up once again. Bye-bye.